Welcome into the Analyst in the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, and the other just really loves yelling at the TV on game day and has plenty of opinions. Together, Michelle and Nycole dive into player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore or casual football fan, they've got something for you.
Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair. I'm Michelle, the Analyst. This is Nycole, the Armchair. And we have our very first off-season show. We did miss last week. We're sorry, but we will be here every week during the off-season. Don't worry. I know you guys were sweating it out last week.
I know. You guys were like, where did they go?
Yeah.
We were just having some Super Bowl hangover.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, we haven't got to discuss that yet on here.
No, not on here.
Like, we're not going to get into detail because everyone's over that by now.
Last
It's
year.
also a terrible Super Bowl, like we all thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah, the first half was a snooze fest.
The third quarter got a little interesting.
A little.
And then Drake May threw that interception. And I was
what we knew was going to happen, right? The commercials were interesting.
There's a couple good ones.
You
Some
know?
really bad ones.
Some really bad choices by some marketing teams.
Yeah.
Ring is going to go out of business now. So,
I guess that gets our chances of ever having Ring as a sponsor gone, but that's okay.
Listen, they did it to themselves.
I know. They.
What are we going to say? Have a doorbell. Listen to NFL football. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess that probably wasn't going to be a sponsor anyways. But yeah, there is some interesting choices. Love Bad Bunny.
It was great. We loved it. Had a good time. Didn't understand it, but that's my own fault.
It was the vibe.
I took so many years of Spanish. It's my own fault.
I took 6 years of Spanish and I didn't know any of it.
I probably took at least 4. So it's my bad. And I grew up in Houston, Texas. So
yeah,
but
is your bad.
It was a vibe and I loved it.
What are you watching now that football's over?
Oh man, I am. Well, basketball just had their All-Star weekend, which Wemby was the star of the All-Star game.
You
just
didn't
because he
watch
tried.
it.
Did I say that?
I'm just saying.
No, I said All-Star weekend just happened, and now I will jump into basketball because it's the time. Rude. And talk about bandwagoners. Hello, you. Anyway, and then baseball is on the horizon. So I think we're like 45-ish days out, and I am stoked. Astros just named their starting pitcher for opening day. You want to guess who it is?
Who is it? I don't
Hunter
know.
Brown.
Nice.
The Diesel. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. And, we've got some primaries happening in Texas. So I've been paying attention to that a bit for politics.
Well, very good.
So not that you knew.
So educated.
I try. Anyway, yeah. So it's just kind of that season where you're like trying to figure out what to do with yourself.
I've been watching a lot of reality TV, a lot of housewives, the Real Housewives of Beverly
The tale
Hills.
of two people.
Yeah. But no, I am really excited about the Astros coming back because I miss them.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
All right. Well, we have a lot of news to get into today. The Dolphins are just releasing everybody. They're not going to have a team next year.
Did they last year?
Yeah, true. Poor new coaches. We'll get into the news. And then today we're going to predict the 4 teams that will have the biggest turnarounds in 2026 from 2025. Let's jump into it.
The opening drive.
The Dolphins go on a little bit of a release spree on Monday and cut Tyreek Hill, which it was kind of coming. We knew it was coming, right? It was a terrible injury last year. We don't even know how he'll play again in his career, if he'll come back to being Tyreek Hill whatsoever. He was owed a lot of money. They could save a lot of money on the cap. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then they cut Bradley Chubb, which I guess you could also foresee because they're going to save a lot of money on the cap. But this is the thing. I mean, you can't, I get it to save all this money, but you also need some good players.
Right.
There's a reason why people spend money, and they're like, we want to make sure we spend nothing. Bradley Chubb, was like the only guy who did anything as an edge rusher for this team last year. They already traded away Jalen Phillips in the middle of last season. Mm-hmm. They traded away Jalen Ramsey in the middle of last year. They don't really have any corners right now. They are secondary. They're all free agents. Like, I don't really know what they're doing. They have Jalen Waddle, and
he's hurt every other game.
Every other play, you could say.
Well, sure.
Every other play.
Yeah, it seems to me it's like, okay, you're obviously doing some kind of massive rebuilding with a new coach, figuring stuff out, but like you're giving him nothing?
Nothing.
Some would say you're giving him, the entire playground to work with, but it's like he could have used a couple people to start with, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, weird choice by the Dolphins. And then are they not moving on from Tua?
Yeah, I guess that's the decision they're trying to make. They said they don't want to wait on making the decision too long. I don't really know what they'll do with Tua because I can't think of many teams that want to trade for him. I mean, there's a lot of teams who need a quarterback, but
Totally.
do they want to trade, give away assets for Tua, and then also pay him?
No, I think with the amount of money, it doesn't make any sense for a team to go out and get. I'd rather go get a new quarterback and see what I've got in him, give him a rookie contract, and go from there than go with a guy you know what you're getting. It's not great.
If you couldn't do it with Mike McDaniel, who made the offense around him where it was very quick, the ball got out of his hands quickly. He made sure to make him feel the most comfortable he could. He couldn't do it there. I don't really know. So
yeah.
I think they might just have to cut Tua, which then I don't know.
Yeah.
Poor Jeff Hafley, who is their new head coach.
He agreed. I wouldn't want it.
I would not want this job either. Now, Max Crosby wants out of Las Vegas, which I get it.
Blame him?
No,
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But they have a whole new coaching staff that says they want to keep Max Crosby. And it seems like an exciting, hiring Clint Kubiak seems like a very exciting hire, right?
Yes, agreed.
And who knows what they can do and change here with this rebuild. If they get Fernando Mendoza and maybe he hits, then maybe it's different. But Max Crosby was their only player this year that had more than 5 sacks. So what do you do if you're the Raiders? Do you give in and trade him away for a heap or just say, suck it up?
I mean, I feel like you have to at this point because you not only have to rebuild your offense now, I mean, with or without him, you need some other key players on defense anyway. So to me, go get the most bang for your buck, trade him away, go get something for him, and good riddance. I don't want a guy that doesn't want to be on my team because they'll play that way.
Yeah, I think they might. So the thing is, right, we see Michael Parsons get traded last year, and then he has a really good season with the Packers before tearing his ACL, and the Cowboys defense was atrocious, right. Although they were atrocious the year prior to be fair.
Sure.
With Max Crosby, it's not like the Raiders defense is good either. This is my thing with these bad teams paying edge rushers. I don't get it. This is why I didn't want the Steelers to pay TJ Watt. It was not going to be the difference maker.
And he definitely wasn't.
Yeah. Myles Garrett, broke the sack record. And the Browns won, 3 games?
For what? Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Paying these, I don't get the whole paying the edge rusher position.
You have nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get having depth. You need depth at line. This is what we're seeing. I mean, the Seahawks just dominated on defense. It wasn't because of one edge rusher. It's because they had a deep defensive line. When the Eagles won the year prior, it wasn't this one amazing edge rusher. They had a deep defensive line.
Yeah.
And then they had to let some of those guys go and see what happens.
So that's my point is you've got the one guy, sure, unless you're going to shore up the defensive line, which you can't do because your offense is such a disaster.
Yeah.
Let him go.
Yeah. I don't know who should trade for him because like I said, there's going to be teams who want to trade for him.
I think Eagles are high on the list. Okay. I think Bills are high on the list. I think Patriots are high on the list.
Bills could be very interesting because they already have Greg Rousseau. Mm-hmm. So you're not giving him nothing, right? Yeah, could be interesting.
Yeah. Just a few options there.
The Seahawks, speaking of them winning the Super Bowl, then they lost their OC, Clint Kubiak, big loss. But then the Seahawks go and hire Brian Fleury, their new OC. He was with the 49ers. He's coming over from the 49ers, a little traitor, leaving the 49ers for the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's bad.
No, but it's okay.
Within division.
Yeah, I know. This is taking a big risk for the Seahawks. Fleury has had only one season as a coordinator whatsoever. He was a running game coordinator. He's never called plays. And he was a tight end coach prior to that with the 49ers. So maybe he learned a lot with Kyle Shanahan. I guess that's what they're banking on.
I guess so. I mean, are they thinking one and done? Right? Maybe.
I don't know. I know they didn't have a lot to pick from because all the good OCs were picked over
already
by the time they had it. But I think Seahawks fans could be a little nervous about that. I think Clint Kubiak's offense was amazing. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I'm still out here. I mean, I have no idea how his schemes would have worked in Seattle, but I'm still a Cliff Kingsbury girl.
He doesn't have a job.
I know. Who are you telling?
Wild.
I know. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with this pick. It could go either way.
Yeah.
It could be really great or really not.
With the change at OC, would you still take Jackson Smith-Njigba with like a top 3 pick?
You have to.
Really?
I mean, I think you have to. I think he'll go higher than he's worth for next year because of the year he had this year. But I mean, there's no reason not to, I think.
I don't know. I think there might be.
Really? Their offense runs through him. I mean,
it does. We have to see who they add in the offseason. That will.
Sure.
They can add some. They actually have a ton of cap space. They just won a Super Bowl and have a ton of cap space. So they're in a good situation right now. But we'll see who they add. But I am a little bit. I think JSN will still be fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Next year, but
I do too.
Like, are you going to take him over Jamar Chase? I know he did better than Jamar Chase this year, but will he continue? to do that?
Joe Burrow was out.
Yeah, exactly.
All the
will you take him over Puka? Well, Justin Jefferson bounce back. You're not going to take him over Bijan Robinson. I wouldn't. What about Jahmyr Gibbs?
It's hard because traditionally, my last few years of fantasy football, I'm like, oh, that guy was great last year. And I don't take into consideration like all the changes and all the things for the next year. And then I end up.
Well, that's probably why you won 2 years in a row, because you don't overthink things and you just take the good players.
Well, true. But I think now that I know a little more, I will take into consideration a little more of the scope of the team, of the player, all of those things.
You sure you want to do that?
Well, here's the thing too. Yes, I do. Here's the thing though. Like, we know what we're getting with JSN, and all year long we said it. Why can they not stop this guy? Why can they? So yeah, I think he'll go easy top 5.
Yeah.
But am I gonna pick him over Jamar Chase? Probably no.
No, I would still stick with Chase. And Bijan Robinson is my 101. I'm not going to change it. He's going to be my 101.
Okay.
Falcons, please don't re-sign Tyler Algier. Let him walk in free agency, please. And let Bijan Robinson just score the touchdown.
Let him have the touchdown.
Oh, my goodness. Some more fantasy alerts, things you might want to know. The Jaguars came out and said they plan to play Travis Hunter, who was their 4th overall pick last year, as a full-time cornerback and only part-time wide receiver next year.
Listen, it's unfortunate because he started to get his stride, in this last season as a wide receiver and then got hurt. So we never really got to see the potential there. Him and
Brian Thomas Jr.
Trevor Lawrence connecting, all of those things. But I'm happy with this option just as a Texans fan. I'm real happy with them coming out and saying this because I think there's so much upside for him on wide receiver, and who's to say they don't figure that out in like halfway through the season and change that? Sure. But I think it's probably a good move for them.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I mean, I guess at some point you have to figure out what he's better at and what you need and all that. But the last time we saw him, unfortunately, like that was his breakout game, had a big monster game as a receiver. Got hurt, but they have Jacoby Myers. They still have Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, he had a terrible season, but we'll see if he can bounce back.
Well, he started off really bad, and then towards the end of the season, started to figure it out with Trevor Lawrence. So
a little bit. He was a big disappointment.
I think overall, yes.
I am just so bitter because I kept him over Puka Nacua.
That was dumb.
Yeah,
should have asked me for my input.
I did. And everyone was telling me Brian Thomas Jr.
I'm pretty sure I would never have said that.
Another fantasy alert that you're going to like for your Commanders. They have new OC. I know Cliff Kingsbury's gone, but they have David Blau. Young guy. I mean, he just retired from the NFL 2 years ago. So he has 1 year of NFL coaching experience and no play calling experience. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But he did come out and say immediately, which is a weird thing to tell everybody, but he said that the Commanders offense will be built around Terry McLaurin getting 10 targets a game.
And look, I love this for them. Yeah. I love Scary Terry being the man, right?
Yeah.
The problem is, can he stay on the field?
Can Jaden Daniels stay on the field?
If you're going to base your entire offense on the guy that couldn't even be on the field the majority of last year, like I don't.
Debo's a free agent, and I do not think they should re-sign him. I told you he was washed. And we'll see who else they add. They could go trade for Brandon Ayuk.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it. Yeah, but I mean, I think it is a little odd to come out and just say what you're going to base your entire offense off for the next year. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Now defenses are like, okay, cool. Now we know the plan. Thank you.
Which, I mean, to be fair, what
Yeah.
were they going to do otherwise?
Yeah.
Unless they sign somebody big name, right? But yeah.
Right now, McLaurin is wide receiver 22 in consensus rankings for 2026. These are going to change like crazy by the time we get to draft season in August, late August here. But he's going after guys like Zay Flowers and Jalen Waddle, and right before Devonta Smith and Luther Burden. Like that price, I'll probably buy into this new hype.
Yeah. You weren't bought in before? We love Scary Terry.
I like him as a player, not as a fantasy player.
Ah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
All right, let's get into our meat and bones of today's episode.
Meat and bones,
Meat
huh?
and bones, bones and meat. Meat and bones. I've never used that phrase in my entire life. What is it?
Our meat and bones. I think you just say the meat of what we're going to talk about,
Huh.
or
The bone.
I would say like steak and potatoes. Like Cardi, like.
You
But
know,
no,
what?
I think it's just the meat.
I tried a new phrase. It didn't work.
It wasn't good.
All right. Well, we're going to discuss the teams that we think will have the biggest turnarounds for the 2026 season.
Between the 20s.
We saw a lot of teams have some big turnarounds from 2024 to 2025, including the Patriots. And I mean, the Patriots was the biggest one, but then the Seahawks was still a big upgrade from one year to the next. We had the Panthers make a big change in their record. The Jaguars, a big change. So a lot of things can change from one year to the next. So we're going to predict 4 teams, 2 each, that we think will have the biggest turnarounds from the 2025 season to the 2026 season. Who's your first team?
Okay. Well, no surprise probably to anyone at all that knows me very well. It's the Commanders. I had to pick the Commanders. Last year was so sad. So sad for this team. Lots of injuries. I mean, honestly, all around the league, right? They win 5 games, which heartbreaking going into the season after Jaden Daniels' amazing rookie season, right? So, I think this is a team that if Jaden Daniels is on the field, can win 10 games next year. I think they can double the amount of games that they win from last season. I think we just talked about it a little bit ago in the first segment, Scary Terry, right? Being the man. I like to see it, right? Like I want to have the go-to guy, similar to the Texans having Nico Collins, right? And these teams that have the guy, Puka, right? All of these people that are the guy, but they still play really well. I want to see that this year from the Commanders. So
there's some things they have to do, right? I think they need a good running back, which this is not in order.
We'll come back to it.
Okay,
sure.
Well,
keep going.
All their running backs are free agents besides JCM, besides Bill.
But here's the thing. I think with Bill, he has enough. We saw some good games and we saw some meh games, right, from him, which rookie season. Okay. He's on a rookie contract. He doesn't cost a lot of money. Give him more reps. He needs a backup guy, if you will. He needs somebody else in the backfield, maybe a veteran running back, to carry that load with him.
So you wouldn't be down for the Commanders using their first round pick on Jeremiah Love, the Notre Dame running back?
Okay. If they do, I'd be happy with it.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong.
I think having Jaden Daniels with what he can do as a rusher, and then having a great running back in the backfield, like the Ravens brought in Derrick Henry last year. I know that didn't work out this year, but it was so good the year prior.
Sure.
Like having that dynamic
could
really take a lot of pressure off of Jaden Daniels as well.
I agree. But I think so. To my point, I think the biggest problem right now is not getting Jaden Daniels the time he needs in the pocket.
Okay.
So I am a little more on the side of like, we have to figure out the offensive line.
Yeah.
Before, and I hate to say it this way, but like if you don't have an offensive line that can protect your quarterback, it doesn't matter who else you have on the field if he can't get them the ball.
Yeah. No, I agree. Didn't they trade for Tunzel?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he do well this year?
He had a lot less penalties this year, coming from the Texans, go figure. He was fine.
Yeah. So they have a lot of money in cap space to spend this year. And obviously they have some early draft picks. So $66 million in cap space is the 5th most currently.
I love
They
that.
can spend. They can spend, they can upgrade that line. I think adding Jeremiah Love would be very interesting. I think trading for Brandon Ayuk, like you can't just have Terry McLaurin. I think they need to go into the season saying, let's take so if they go into the season with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt or Bill, which, we like to just call him by his nickname.
I love Bill.
Bill. Yeah. Bill. If that's their starting running back, I think that puts a lot of pressure on Jaden Daniels having to do everything.
Okay.
If they add a guy like Jeremiah Love in the draft, it could take a lot of pressure off, and it could be like, these two guys are our stables with Terry McLaurin. They're probably not going to have Zach Ertz. He's a free agent. He's old, and he just had a terrible knee injury, tore his ACL late in the season. So they got to go young at tight end. Probably Ben Sinnott will be their starter. Like, they need other weapons at wide receiver. Trade for Brandon Ayuk, fix up the offensive line, draft Jeremiah Love.
Well, I think,
and then you just have to outscore everybody because your defense is going to suck.
Okay, we're the Bills.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I do think, though, if they add one or two folks on the offensive line, I do think then you have to figure out the defense a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to me, I hesitate because I feel like this is not 30 years ago where the running back was key, right? I feel that wide receivers defense, a solid defense. I'm not talking bottom 10. I'm talking top 10, 12, right? Like, if you have a formidable defense, I do feel like that shores up things too for your offense. So I would almost argue that I would rather focus a little more on the defense than maybe a running back. Now, if they go grab him round one, great.
Yeah.
Love that.
And again, they can pay up for defense in the free agency or take them, throughout the draft. But
totally.
Love would be very interesting with the Commanders.
It would. And I'll be honest, I read a bunch about that, of like, could this work for them? And I think it definitely could. And like you said, freeing up Jaden to have the option, but also to run the ball, right? Like, to show up like he did his rookie season. I'm so excited for this team, but I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
Because it's all going to depend on what they do this offseason.
And I do kind of hate that they changed play callers. I wish they would have just stayed stable. Don't change stuff on Jaden Daniels.
I didn't
injury-riddled season. They just got to the NFC Championship. They were thriving as an offense. It just doesn't make sense to move on that quickly.
I agree. I feel the exact same way. And so that's why I feel like this offseason is so important. But if they do all the right things and people stay healthy, this is an easily, winning season for the Commanders.
So I have a take. I think a different team in the NFC East will have a better record than the Commanders.
Okay.
And I only have one team going to the playoffs in the NFC East this year. And no, it's not the Eagles. And no, it's not the Cowboys. It's the Giants. I think the Giants will make the biggest turnaround this year. I think we should have a little bet about the Giants versus Commanders, who finishes higher.
Okay. I like that.
I mean, they only finished one game different this year, right? The Giants were 4-13. Commanders won 5 games. So not that different. I think the Giants made a fantastic hire going with John Harbaugh. Like, bring in that veteran guy that is a really, really good coach. I loved what I saw out of Jackson Dart. He comes into his second year. And I loved what I saw out of Jackson Dart without any weapons. And now he gets Malik Neighbors back. Hopefully Cam Scatteraboo can come back. Now they need to upgrade their offensive line and their corners, their defensive backs. But they have the number 5 overall pick. So take a good offensive lineman, take a good corner, whatever is there. Their defensive line is already stacked. And they lost a lot of close games last year. They lost 5 games by 1 score.
Wow.
And their point differential at the end of the year is minus 58. The Panthers' point differential was minus 69, and they made the playoffs.
Division.
Only the Chiefs had a better point differential among teams with 10 plus losses than the Giants last year. So I think a lot of that can come down to coaching, losing these close games, and like losing your best weapons on offense doesn't help. They obviously have some holes on their offense, but I do think like John Harbaugh can fix this team up very quickly.
I mean, I agree with you. I think we both knew when he left the Ravens that he would be the most opportunistic head coach to hire. So I love this for Jackson Dart, right? Mm-hmm. Jackson Dart plays risky, which I enjoy. Now, if I was a Giants fan, I would be like, bro, stay in the pocket, please. for the love of God, right? But
or just get down or throw the ball away before you get hit.
Right. And
but
that's
Harbaugh
also
will teach him
something-
that because Lamar.
Totally. But that's something that, CJ Stroud had to learn.
Mhm.
He had to learn to throw the ball away because he wanted to be the hero, right? Every chance he got. And it was like, hey, dude, love you, but let's live for the next down,
Mhm.
right? And so I think that's something Jackson Dart can certainly learn quickly under Harbaugh. I think it's a great, great addition. And like you said, he's getting so many weapons back. They just have to make the right moves and pick the right people to complement him.
Yeah. And I think instantly John Harbaugh becomes the best coach in the NFC East. Like Nick Sirianni, no one wants to coach under him, it seems. I know he just won the Super Bowl. I like Nick Sirianni, but no one seems to.
Yeah.
So it's hard there. Brian Schottenheimer, he'll have a couple of years in Dallas and get fired. And then Dan Quinn, he's fine. He's good a bit, but
I like Dan Quinn.
he's fine, but he's not as good as Harbaugh.
Well, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think the Giants are probably the most exciting team to make a big, big turnaround this year.
What's your second team?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how you're going to feel about this.
Okay.
I picked the Bengals.
All right.
I picked the Bengals.
I thought about it.
So, let's face it. Their defense is trash. It's so horrible. Okay. Joe Burrow being out, 11 games, I think, last year, not helpful, right? Not helpful. And it was a huge piece of why the Bengals were what they were last year. Now, they did win 6 games, I believe, last year.
Which is so bad with how many great weapons they have in offense.
And that's the thing, right? Joe Burrow, when he was on the field, was 5-3 when he started his 8 games. So, Joe Burrow being on the field, very much like Jaden Daniels being on the field, is so crucial for their team, right? You have people like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, right? Then you have Chase Brown, who had a wonderful season, right? So you have the offensive weapons already. I'm not worried about the offense pretty much at all.
Yeah.
It's all going to come down to what they do defensively in the offseason. And I think, just having Joe Burrow on the field is so important for them. I think I'm so excited for this. I think the biggest thing for me too is the division they're in. Okay.
Hey,
I'm just going to go there. I'm going to go there. You've got Baltimore, who's probably always going to be right there as an contender, right? And then you've got the Browns, who sadly are probably not ever.
Just a few weeks ago, you thought the Browns were going to make the playoffs.
Listen, I think they have a lot of potential. I don't think they'll do anything with it. Okay. That's my honest truth. Sorry, Dad. And then you've got the Steelers, right? And who we talk about a lot because that's your Homer team, you grew up with and everything. But the Steelers, let's all be honest, are going to be exactly how they were last year and or might be worse, right? And so you've got these teams that are right there at 10, 11 wins. There is no reason if Joe Burrow stays on the field all year long, they can't get at least 11 wins, okay? The other big factor here and big advantage for the Bengals is Zach Taylor. And I know that sounds crazy because we all were like, why didn't he get fired? Yeah. But here's the weird thing. Out of all their games that they will have this year, obviously we don't know the schedule and all that, but he will play at least 9 teams with new head coaches.
Wow. Look who did her research.
At least. Well, because here's the thing. Everybody in the AFC North has a new coach.
Yeah.
That's 2, 4, 6 games right there.
Yeah.
Right. So you have the advantage of being the quote unquote veteran head coach in at least 9 of your matchups. Let's say you win all those. You're a shoo-in to at least be a contender in your division, if not your conference, right? So I think that's actually a big advantage that nobody's really thinking about because you think Zach Taylor and you're like, why didn't he get fired? But I do think that's definitely an advantage for them going into next season. So I like it. I'm a big fan of Joe Burrow and I do like the Bengals a lot. So I think this could be a really fun year for them in that. Last year, I think everybody had really high expectations for them. Then Joe Burrow gets hurt and it was kind of
That's the thing. Can Joe Burrow stay healthy? Because all he does is get hurt.
That's a little dramatic.
It's every year.
I do think it can.
I mean, basically every year outside of the 2021 Super Bowl season.
Yeah. I mean, he can't. I think him coming back at the end of last year is like, hey, y'all, like I'm here to play football. Mm-hmm. So I like his mentality a lot with playing. And I know that doesn't really translate to like, can he stay healthy or not? But I like it.
He needs to stay healthy. They need to fix up their defense. They have plenty of money to do so. $52 million in cap space this offseason. And obviously some early draft picks with their bad records. So they can change it up, but they have to hit on these defensive players. Trey Hendrickson is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. I cannot imagine he's going to be gone. Like,
there's no way. Yeah, there's and let him go. I mean, again, similar to our conversation about the Raiders defense, like let him go, get some really good guys instead of like stellar guys at that position and keep it moving.
And it did seem like the defense stepped up a little bit in the second half of the year. It was so bad the first half.
It really was.
It got a little bit better under the new DC. It seemed like things were starting to click. And they didn't move on from their DC, Al Gordon. I don't know to say the word Al. I know, Al Gordon.
You did it good.
Oh, man.
I did it right, actually, 2 times. Well, now you messed it up.
Al Gordon.
It's not Ale, it's Al.
Al Gordon.
Al.
Al Gordon.
Perfect.
There.
Don't say it again.
I think it's okay that they kept him because it did seem like they were improving and he really had nobody to play with.
No one.
So, all right.
I like it in this division, honestly.
The Bengals were an option. Also, the Ravens were an option. I know they were only 8-9, so it wouldn't have been like that crazy of one. But I honestly think they can go like 15-2 next year.
Whoa.
Yeah. I think their defense is going to be much better.
Whoa.
And then Lamar is going to.
They did get much better throughout the season.
Yeah.
And then Lamar. Obviously.
And Jesse Minter. I know it's like a oxymoron here where I'm saying like John Harbaugh going to the Giants is great for them, but then John Harbaugh leaving the Ravens is good. But I really do think it could be great for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that just happens.
It's called a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. My other team, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I had some choices. I do think the Titans can make a big turnaround. Like I said, the Ravens were an option, but I decided to go with the Cardinals. They have a decent amount of cap space at $35 million to, upgrade their roster. They obviously have an early draft pick because they won 2 games all year long. Nice. 3 games all year long. I will say that the Cardinals lost 7 games. I just brought up the Giants lost 5 games by 1 score. The Cardinals lost 7 games by 1 score last year. Mm-hmm. Only the Chiefs lost more such games. So, I mean, when you look at their beginning, they won their first 2 games. They lose against the 49ers by 1 point. They lose against the Seahawks by 3 points. They lose against the Titans by 1 point, which the Titans were terrible. So probably shouldn't have lost them by 1 point. But that was the collapse. They were killing them. And then it was like the collapse where everything went wrong.
Right.
Then Kyler Murray goes down. But still against the Colts, they only lose by 4 points. Against the Packers, they only lose by 4 points. That's their first 7 weeks.
Wow.
They could have been, that could have been a completely different season because the mentality of these players when they're winning games first, well, now we're going into the bye at 2-5. Right. We have like no hope, know? Right. And Kyler Murray's down and we have Jacoby Brissett. But they do actually come out of the bye win against the Cowboys, 10 points. They get their butts kicked by the Seahawks, 49ers. Only lose by 3 points to the Jaguars. Only lose by 3 points to the Buccaneers. Get their butts kicked by the Rams and the Texans. Close game to the Falcons, get their butts kicked by the Rams and the Bengals. But a lot of really close games, and they're 2 good teams as well.
Right.
I think they can make big changes fast. I do think they need to keep Kyler Murray. I don't think he's the best quarterback in the world. I don't think he's worth this contract. I do think he's by far the best quarterback available. Mm-hmm. There's no one else that you can get as an upgrade. And it's not like you can move on from Kyler Murray and save all this money and help your team out. You're just going to lose money. So just stick with him. You have a new head coach in Mike LaFleur. See what you can work with him. Jonathan Gannon was a mess. We knew it from the moment he was hired and his awkward encounter with Kyler Murray. I've never seen a more awkward thing in my life. All right. We knew it was going to be bad. And it was bad. So a whole new staff. Great. Keep Kyler Murray. Great. I liked what they did last year. They signed Josh Sweat. He was amazing signing for them. 12 sacks this year, led the team. Yeah. Cool. You have him for the future. Their first round pick, Walter Nolan. I loved him coming out of school. Unfortunately, he suffered an injury, only got to play 6 games his rookie season. So they get him coming back. They can even get more money in cap space by cutting James Conner. Sorry, love you, James Conner, but you're old. You can't stay healthy, and there's just no reason for a team that's not a Super Bowl contender to stick around with you.
Totally.
So even more money there to spend. And I think Mike LaFleur is a smart enough offensive guy to figure out how to get Marvin Harrison Jr. going. Just be above average.
Yes.
Like get going. And then also don't be like Michael Wilson was so good.
So good.
Utilize him. Even when Marvin Harrison Jr. is on the field, utilize Michael Wilson.
Yes.
And if you have to move him around to different spaces and have different workloads or whatever and play different roles, do that. But figure out a way to get Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson going at the same time with Trey McBride.
Right.
And
yeah, Trey McBride was dominant last year.
Yeah. And then they have to shore up some things in their secondary and defensive line. But like I said, they have no money to do that. But they have the offensive pieces there.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their new head coach, who I really like, Mike LaFleur. And Kyler Murray can do it up. They lost so many close games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's such a hard division with the Seahawks, the Rams, 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they make the playoffs, but I do think they'll be pushing for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could be 9-8, 10-7. And make a huge change around from 3 wins last year.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think they're a really fun franchise to watch for this next season, especially early, because like you said, Kyler Murray isn't like a Lamar or Patrick Mahomes or what have you, but he's good enough, especially with these guys who can catch the ball like no other, like Michael Wilson having that great season, figure out how to get Marvin Harrison Jr., and Trey McBride, and there you go. I mean, you don't have to do anything insane. You just have to do things well, and that's all they need from him.
Absolutely. All right, so those are our 4 teams. Biggest turnarounds.
Yeah.
We got the Bengals, the Commanders, the Giants, and the Cardinals.
I do like a Giants Commanders bet. I think that sounds fun.
Oh, yeah.
We'll figure that out.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do Bengals versus the Cardinals because I do think the Bengals will have a better record.
The divisions are completely different.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that division is really, really tough.
Yeah.
For the Cardinals.
It is probably the toughest division right now. Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for our predictions for the 2026 season. But we still have our 2-minute warning, and we're going to get into one trade each that we want to happen this offseason in the NFL.
2-minute warning.
All right, Nycole, you're just sitting around the house. You get an alert on your phone. Trade alert in the NFL. What do you want it to say?
No.
Nice. What do you want it to say?
Okay. I'm going with a Lions trade.
Okay.
Because I like the Lions. I think they were sad and disappointing last year. And so they're right in that bucket of like trying to contend. And so I want to see them. And I'm not well versed in like the nuances of like trade specifics, but this is what I want them to do. I want them to go and get a guy to be opposite Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
I think that could really help them, especially in close games when their offense is not clicking and they have so many weapons offensively, but why are they losing games? It's infuriating. I think their defense could be a little more stout. And so I would really like to see them go get Kayvon Thibodeau from the Giants.
Okay.
With like some 2nd round pick 2 or whatever they need to do to make that happen.
All right. Kayvon Thibodeau is definitely on a trading block. They can go get him. I don't even think it would take a 2nd runner. They might be able to go get him for a 4th, 3rd or 4th.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I think that could be a really interesting, fun, like dynamic from like the young edge rusher with like pretty high production. And then you have like Aiden Hutchinson, who we know is a beast, but he gets double teamed and he can't do anything. So I think it could be a really fun pairing with he and Hutchinson.
And I think that might be the way they have to go, right? Because you could say you want them to trade for Max Crosby, but they're already paying Aiden Hutchinson an outrageous amount of money.
Yes.
So you can't really pay both. So I
especially with all those offensive weapons you have.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Kayvon Thibodeau would be a guy that's disappointed with where he was drafted, and you're trying to bring him in, and he doesn't have to be the guy, right? And let's see what he can do with Aiden Hutchinson. I don't mind that. I like it. All right.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it.
Then you actually maybe like it.
Yeah.
Wow. High praise.
Yeah. I'm going to go with an offensive one. So of course you would do defense because you're a defensive girly.
Yeah.
Of course I would do offense because I'm all fantasy football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see it.
I'm going to go AJ Brown to the 49ers. So the 49ers will trade Brandon Ayuk and a 2nd round pick to the Eagles for AJ Brown. Because AJ Brown wants out of Philadelphia. Ayuk is done with the 49ers. And I think both teams would be getting very good wide receivers. Ayuk might be better with Jalen Hurts. Get him. He's more able to get open. AJ Brown is more of that like contested catch guy. He's able to get deep or whatever. But Devonta Smith and Brandon Ayuk could be very interesting together.
I think that's a really interesting take.
And then with the 49ers, I think it would add the speed they're looking for. They said they need to add speed this year, which they do. They desperately need a guy they can trust with speed to get down the field, a big play guy. And then you already have Ricky Pearsall, who's such a good route runner.
True.
It's not like AJ Brown's a bad route runner. I'm not trying to say that. But like Ricky Pearsall with his skill set, with AJ Brown's skill set, I think would mesh so well together.
Do you think the 49ers, though, want the drama that comes with AJ Brown?
They already have. I mean, they dealt with the drama of Ayuk.
Yeah, but he wasn't there. Like he wasn't like around.
I don't think AJ Brown has drama when the team is competent,
doing what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, when they're, I think he's just so frustrated with the coaching staff.
Okay,
and I think that's the issue, right?
That's like, my only hesitancy of like an organization like the 49ers. I'm hesitant with the tweet guys, is what I call them.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of wide receivers with some diva personalities.
Sure.
But I would love to see AJ Brown with the 49ers.
Okay.
I think it'd be a great fit. I think he'd be happy because Kyle Shanahan would, call up all the plays for him.
Totally.
And we'll see what happens. But he can also block for Christian McCaffrey.
Yes. We'll see.
Yeah. No, but I think that's a win-win trade for both sides too. Now, I do think AJ Brown's a better wide receiver overall than Ayuk, but that's why the 49ers would be giving a pick on top of it. And if AJ Brown wants out, I mean, the Eagles can easily fill that spot with Ayuk.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it for today's show. We'll be back next week. And I think we're going to do the opposite. We're going to be all negative Nancy's. So we're going to say the teams that were really good this year that are going to fall apart next season. Don't miss it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Analyst in the Armchair. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on socials, leave us a review, and comment to let us know what you'd like to hear next time.